Who are you?
It's a difficult question to answer. You could think about the way you look, who you are to someone else, what you do for a living, or the place that you come from. But do any or all of these truly reflect the entirety of who you are? Can you really know another person? What are the things that we cannot see about each other? We live in a world that is becoming increasingly connected, but does that mean we understand each other any better? We see the world and each other through lenses that color our perceptions. These assumptions lead to conflicts and misunderstandings, time and time again, throughout history. We play different roles in different contexts. We cannot be defined by only one. How can we shed light on the other ways of being? How can we get a clearer picture of each other, the ways that we intersect and diverge? We can begin by asking, who are you? Who we are is not just our appearance, vocation, or even our memories. It is our values, temperament, and character. Is it possible that we could see beyond the superficial and learn about these deeper aspects of each other? In the I Am mirror, we have a screen inviting two participants, say Michael and Kim. Michael and Kim each choose identity labels for themselves and then answer a few A or B questions asking them to choose between two things. Both Michael and Kim are then sent back and presented with the other person's chosen label. They are presented with A or B questions and prompted to guess the answers given by the other person. Each time, the interactive floor alerts Michael and Kim as to whether or not the answer is correct and prompts them again with the next question. Michael and Kim both proceed with these A or B questions up until they are both in front of the mirror. When Michael and Kim both reach the mirror, both of their reflections fade away and transition to a view of the other person. Finally, they both see how well their own construction of the other person has matched up to reality. In our I Am mirror, we use a black mirror to demonstrate the tension between society telling us who we are and our own idea of who we are. We additionally ask participants to choose a label for themselves, and it helps to highlight how a person most sees his or herself. The A or B questions ask the participants to assume the other person's identity through the hint that the one I Am label provides, but these are assumptions. Throughout the game, participants project their own perceptions onto the other person to move forward in the activity. The black mirror and its constant reflection show how subjective it is to judge another person. Progressing through the A or B questions along with the final reveal, the participants may be shocked to realize their assumptions and ideas of the other person are not wholly accurate. This experience can let the participants start a conversation about stereotypes, identities, and how they relate to each other. This mediated social interaction encourages people to evaluate the ways we've been taught to see each other. If you hear that someone has gone for a vacation to Hawaii, you start to make assumptions about that person. From a word alone, you can imagine a whole story about another person. But what if you also learn that they like jazz music, or believe in loyalty, or prefer to work in teams? How do these new facts break your construction of this other person? Today's problems are increasingly the kinds of problems that require global cooperation. Climate change, hunger, war. In labeling ourselves as any one thing, we align ourselves to certain communities and create bubbles around ourselves. We make a choice to care for and be responsible for things only within particular bubbles. But the differences between us become less polarizing when we can see beyond the boundaries to the things we share. There is not as much distance and division between us as we think.